And welcome to another live unboxing. Good to see everybody. It's Andrew back again, and it is now July 18th, 2023, 5:47 p.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas. Hopefully everybody's doing good, staying cool, at least here in Las Vegas, as it is boiling hot once again. This heat wave continues here in Nevada, and I got to tell you, it is boiling hot. But I'm staying cool here so far in this studio, and hopefully this heat will break at some point, but it is pretty hot. Now, it's about 115 degrees today, so that was Fahrenheit. That's a pretty high temperatures. Now we have something that came in from Dell, something pretty special, of course. That would be the Dell Precision 5680. Now this is a workstation, a mobile workstation that packs a lot of power under the hood. We're talking Core i9, we're talking H series, which goes without saying, and we're talking about the NVIDIA RTX A5000 or RTX 5000 ADA graphics. So this is the ADA Lovelace graphics, which are professional grade graphics that of course are ISV certified, drivers and so forth that help with those kind of professional tasks. So this should get the work done in very high-end professional video editing and stuff like that. So good to see everybody once again. We're going to get it out of the box. We'll run a few benchmarks, of course. We'll take a look at this device, and then of course I'll bring you a full review, as I always do. Now, before we unbox this, let's say hello to a few people. We have William Cohen here, our moderator, and yes, I'm trying to keep cool here in Las Vegas. And we have Raphael, also another moderator. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Martin Dubler's here. Hopefully you're staying cool in this heat wave, but looking forward to this hot unboxing. Yes, I am looking forward to it as well. Get rid of that music, but we do want some applause here. And I appreciate that. Thanks for the great work. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate you for saying that. All right, we got our first super chat from our good friend Duck Vision. So thank you, my friend, once again. Always a big supporter of the channel. I do appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat. And back-to-back super chats. And this one is from Raphael. So both of you, Duck Vision, Raphael, I really do appreciate it. It is from the bottom of my heart. You know that. All right. Is this have the new cam memory? Now, I don't think it has cam memory. I'll have to double check. I don't think it does. It would have been pointed out as one of the main features. We saw the cam memory on the Precision 7670. I got to look at those two units last year and love those units. Unfortunately, I had to give them back, but hopefully we'll get some updated versions this year. But we have the 5680 here. It's a 16-inch workstation, and why don't we take a look at some of the specs here? But before we do that, Ty Tran from Toronto, Canada. How are you up north? It is 8:49 p.m. there. It's 26 degrees Celsius. Wow, that's pretty nice compared to this weather. But hope you're enjoying yourself up north. Okay. So let's get this set up here. These are the specs that we have here today as they're coming onto your screen. And what we're looking at here is a mobile workstation. It's called the Dell Precision 5680. 16-inch OLED display, 3840 by 2400. It's 60 hertz. We don't need the high refresh rate on these. These are professional grade machines, and we'll talk about that in a moment. 13th gen Core i9 13900H with V Pro. It's got 14 cores. We've seen that. In the NVIDIA RTX 5000 ADA generation with DDR6 video memory, 16 gigabytes of that video RAM, up to 64 gigabytes of this DDR5 RAM. But of course, it's not cam memory. It would have been pointed out to me. But I do have 32 gigabytes in my unit. I believe it is upgradable. It's got a RAID 0 on this one, so hopefully we get some really good speeds in terms of the reads and writes as far as that storage. It's got a 6-cell 99.5 watt-hour battery, nearly the maximum limit you can take on an airplane, so hopefully that'll give us decent battery life, but you never know with such power packed under the hood. And then it has Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3. So as this moves over to the next panel here, Very expensive, but we'll talk about pricing because you have to understand who this is geared towards and what companies are willing to pay for this because these are very specialized devices. You're looking at 1.99 kilograms as a starting weight or 4.49 pounds. So packing a lot of power, not too heavy considering this is a workstation. Full HD camera here. We'll take a look at that. It's IR. There's a fingerprint reader. It's got 4 speakers. It's aluminum build in the chassis, and then we'll take a look at the ports. So those are the specs here. Let me take them off of the screen here. And let me just get a quick drink here because my throat is a little dry. Good to see Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. He just joined us. Good to see you. Jaden's Gaming is here. What's the speed of the SSD? We're gonna test it. We're gonna get some benchmarks going. All right. So let's get this out of the box. You know, we've already gotten through the specs here. So without further ado, you know the drill, folks. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, thank you, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee, for that $10 super chat. We'll acknowledge you in a moment. So we got that typical packaging we've been seeing from Dell. This time it says Precision there instead of Latitude or from the XPS line. And I think that's it. There's nothing else in the box, outer box at least. Okay. There's a little arrow showing where this little latch here. Okay, let's open that. Welcome to Dell. Let's do great things together. And it does have a little bit of heft, but considering what this is packing under the hood, not too bad. Okay, so we get some documentation, but before we do that, let's take a look at this. This, of course, is your power cord, typical stuff. And we got this. And then this is the power charger. So this is going to be very similar to what we saw with the XPS 15 when we unboxed that, their consumer version. This is 165 watts, and it is USB Type-C. So 165, it is USB Type-C, as I mentioned there. You can see it. Not too bad for a pretty powerful charger, and it's pretty compact. That's what we like to see. We'll get a measurement of weight and everything. You get a USB-A to USB Type-C adapter, okay? And then that is indicating something. Maybe it doesn't have a USB-A port. We'll take a look at the ports in a moment. And then, of course, you get some documentation here, okay? And this says Dell Precision 5680 on here. And this is pretty good. Obviously, it's just documentation and there's some warranty information. Typical stuff, you know, nothing too surprising here. And that's it for what's in the box. And of course, you get the unit itself. And isn't she a beauty, right? So this is like a graphite color. It's actually pretty nice. You can see it here, very nice. It says Precision 5680, and you can actually get a look at it over here. There you can see it. Pretty nice so far. The build seems really rock solid, very solid all metal design. You get some Dell branding there. Pretty nice, okay? So let's put a top-down shot here, and let's see if we can open this with one finger. We can. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. I wasn't, you know, I always get excited when I see something like this. So what this reminds me of, take a Dell XPS 15 and really soup it up here, and you've got a really sleek and modern look, right? So what you're seeing here is an absolutely gorgeous design here. I'm really liking it. And it really is. And I don't know if it's going to collect a lot of fingerprints. We'll have to see. But it looks like it has some NFC here. That's what that's probably indicating. So let's take that off. Okay. It's got V Pro. It's got the Core i9. Let me just wipe this down a little bit. So it's not, I don't think this is a carbon fiber, but it has a very nice feel to it. It has like a rubberized feel. So it has a very premium feel as well. So that is pretty nice looking so far. Let me test the keyboard here, and hopefully I won't activate anything on there. So let's test the keyboard. Let's hear how it sounds. Okay, that is actually really nice. Okay, let's see if there's something else in the box. So William says it looks like there is something in the box you did not take out. Let's go back to the box. All right, let's see here. There could be something. So we looked at this. This is the adapter. We got the documentation here. Is there something in here? What is this? Hold on. No, there's nothing else in there. I don't see anything else. No, I think that's it. Okay, I think that's it. So we didn't miss anything. If somebody knows I am missing something, let me know. But I didn't see anything else. Oh, good to see David Allen here. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? You got the same reminder. Very nice. You got the same. I get the same reminder. Okay. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay. We'll see. Top-notch specs, great Dell precision, according to Daniel. All right. So this is looking pretty good. This is the OLED display. Let's bump up the brightness a little bit. Goes back as far as you see here. It is pretty gorgeous. It is a touch display, as you can see here. Let me just take a look real quick. We'll take a look at the ports after this. I just want to see the system specs here. So this is a 13th gen processor, Core i9, and I'm going to have to lower that brightness because it's going to blow out the screen there. You can actually see it here. A glossy display, but of course it's OLED. And this one has, again, 32 gigabytes of RAM. We'll get some measurements of some of the specs and so forth. Let me go to the display settings here real quick. And let's see, 3840 by 2400. Okay, so this is the OLED. And then, of course, we know this is 60 hertz, but I don't think we're going to need a higher refresh rate. And the only reason I say that is because those who are going to buy this are going to be buying it for professional graphics work. And having that high refresh rate is not necessarily something they need. They need the horsepower. And I think this display will have all those metrics in terms of the coverage of the color gamut, in terms of the color accuracy. This will definitely do the job. So let me bring this in. Let me connect it to the dock. But before we do that, actually, I forgot we want to do the ports here, and we can move over to this camera here. And then after this, we'll get a measurement of the weight. All right, so we have HDMI over here. Okay, let's get in focus here. The HDMI over here, you got a headphone jack, 2 USB Thunderbolt 4 ports. So that's good to see. And on this side, you have a full-size SD card reader, always good to see there. You get your Kensington lock port, and then another, right there, and then another, looks like Type-C Thunderbolt 4, and we'll double check those in a moment. But that's the ports on this. No USB-A. They do give you that adapter in the box. And then here's a close-up of the keyboard here. Absolutely gorgeous here. It does collect a little bit of fingerprints so far on the deck here. I'll have to wipe that down. But yeah, it looks pretty nice so far. Let me see some of the comments while we get this up and running here. No review for Lenovo. Okay, I'm not talking Lenovo right now, folks. Keep on topic. That one is going to drink some battery. Yeah, it's got a pretty beefy battery, nearly 100 watt hours, 99.5 watt hours. You like the dark keys on this unit better than the light colored keys. I agree, and that's especially true when you are using the backlight. Okay. Now, we do have the 165 watt adapter here, and you can see it here. I'm going to use this. We're going to plug this in because this is going to give us the most power. Now, I do have a Dell Thunderbolt dock here, but I don't know if it can deliver that kind of power that this GPU CPU combination probably would benefit from. So let's get this all set up. Okay, and got that. So we'll plug it in on this side, and then I'll connect it up to the HDMI so we can see what's going on. Okay, now it's plugged in, showing that it's plugged in over here. Okay. Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee with another super chat. One day someone's going to name a smartphone, a laptop, a super duper ultra. Yeah, probably. Nice. Thank you for that generous super chat once again. That's your second, I see. Wow. All right. So now we've got it plugged in. Let me connect it up here to my dock so we can get it see what you can actually see what I'm doing. So hopefully everything is connected. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, and you can actually see what I'm doing right now. All right, so let me put myself down there. All right, so far so good. It is looking pretty nice. Let me connect this over here. This way I can get some of my benchmarks up and running. So this is the drive. So this touchpad feels like a haptic touchpad, to be honest. Feels like a haptic. Let me show you. So I'm going to look at the specs here in a moment. Be very careful when using docks. I've seen some Dells notice that the power difference and throttles back the GPU. No, we're using the actual adapter, the 165 watts that this comes with. All right, well, let's continue without scanning here. Yeah, this definitely feels like a haptic touchpad. I'm getting feedback on this. So this is feeling really good. If this is not a haptic touchpad, this has got to be one of the best touchpads I've ever used. It's that good. But again, we'll talk about the price in a moment. Don't let me forget about that, because people are going to just, say, well, this is $6,000. Why would I even bother? You have to understand companies get discounts when they buy these. Companies don't blink at the price because these are the type of tools to get the job done for high-end video editing, for architecture, for medical imaging. This is what this is going to be doing. All right, so let me bring over some of these benchmarks here. And I also have to go to the network here because I'm going to have to make sure that I am connected. Let me make sure this went there. Okay, there we go. And screen looks absolutely gorgeous. Let me put it on me for a second. I want to just connect it to my network here. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to feel hot here. Even though I got the AC cranking and going, this thing, it's hot here in Las Vegas. Liking the keyboard so far. Looking good. All right, so I'm connecting to my network. How far does the screen move? Touch screen. Okay, so yes, it is a touch screen. You can see here, this is how far back it goes. And so far, very little screen wobble. These are nice hinges on here. Okay, so we're connected to the network. And let me just make sure I'm on the right time zone. Right now it's in Central time zone, but we're going to put it on to the Pacific time zone. That's done. Okay. Now, let me connect up to this network here. 1 second. Start without my data. I don't need any of this crap. Continue without. And we're going to get the latest Geekbench. Confirm and start browsing. Okay, here we go. Geekbench 6. All right. So we're going to load this in. Let me go there. We have 43 of you watching and 29 likes. Do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps get this spread out over YouTube as we're downloading Geekbench 6. And I'm also going to see, does this have the Dell Optimizer? Let's see. Yes, it does. Let's get that app going. Hopefully, yeah, that should be. There it is. Let's see what we can do with that. And then on this one, I'm also going to check. Yeah, see, let's put the power. So we're in the Dell Optimizer app here, and thermal management is what we want to do on this. So right now it is on ultra performance. And again, when I know people are commenting, Sportimus is saying for $6,000 that screen better be gorgeous. Laugh out loud. Yeah, and you know what? Look, yes, it is expensive, but believe me, companies with the budget that they have will not blink at this because of what this can provide for them. They're not going to think twice. They're going to buy this in bulk. They're going to get discounts. Just keep that in mind. All right, so that's set up. Let me make sure this is taken off balance. Let's put this into the best performance in the Windows settings. Okay, and now this is still downloading the Geekbench. It's Geekbench 6.1.0. So it has been running much more stable than the original 6.0. So that's been pretty good. Oh, we have 50 of you. All right, good to see everybody. Make sure you do hit that like button, and we're up to 37 likes. Okay, and this is going to have, and again, 32 gigabytes of RAM here. We're talking about a RAID 0 drive. We're gonna talk about how fast that's going to be. We'll do a Cinebench R. We're gonna not only do the Cinebench R23. We'll do a modified version, of course. We'll do the full Cinebench R23 run in the upcoming review, but we'll also do the Crystal Disk Mark test. That will certainly test the speeds of the SSD, the reads and the writes. There's a link for in the description below how much it costs. I think it starts around $2,500 or so, goes up from there, just depends on which specs you go with. This is going to be over $6,000, so just keep that in mind. All right, so let's open this. Well, this is going to load in Geekbench. And again, take whatever result we get here with a grain of salt because it is the first boot really for me at least. We haven't updated anything or done anything yet with it. So, but just to get an idea, right, of what ballpark we're talking about in terms of the performance here. So let's see if this is doing it. Did I open it? Let me go to the downloads. There we go. This touchpad, let me tell you, I keep harping on this, but this touchpad is really nice. I'm really liking it. Basically, according to, it's 6K just for the CPU plus the 16 Go Quadro RTX 5000. So what we have here actually is the RTX 5000 ADA Lovelace GPU. And what that is something it's different than a consumer line from NVIDIA or from, say, AMD, where they value speed over quality. Now, when I say speed over quality, what do I mean? Well, when you're going to render, say you're an architect, right, and you have an overpass that you have to design, you have to make sure it's 100% correct in your calculations. You have to make sure everything is up to speed as far as making sure your calculations are done right. So it may take a little bit longer with the GPU because it's going to do an extra few cycles just to make sure it's right, because you don't want to make one mistake can mean a big problem on an overpass, right? So just to give you an idea, just a little bit. And here it says NVIDIA RTX 5000 ADA, and you can actually see it here. We're going to test that in a moment, but let's do the CPU. And again, it's the Core i9-13900H with vPro. So we're talking 14 cores. That's 8 efficient cores and 6 performance cores. And that is a good, obviously a great CPU. We've seen excellent performance, both single and multi-core performance as we're running this for the first time here. And again, we'll update it. Now, according to Sportimus, I wish Dell would update their XPS. Not happy with their camera and other things on it. It makes me a little envious. So I would imagine we're going to see something next year on that. So I wouldn't worry too much, as we're already almost more than halfway through 2023, and I'm expecting big changes on the XPS hopefully next year. Again, I have nothing concrete, but you know, I would expect they're hard at work at that. Now, this has a full HD camera. We'll test it out in a little bit as well. But this does have, no, I don't think, William, this is going to come with McAfee. I don't think they're putting it in their professional lines, but you never know. It hasn't come up here. I think that's more of a consumer thing for the most part, right? So I don't know, but I hope not. But I don't think so. All right, let's see. Let me go back a little bit. It would be nice if it had Ethernet port, although it would need to be one with those flip open due to the thickness. It would have to have that drop jaw. Yeah, you know, a lot of this you can get with dongles nowadays. Look, we don't even have USB-A. They do give you that USB-A to USB Type-C adapter in the box. But again, I mean, let's think about this. You're getting a very thin and light, in a sense, powerhouse here. This is not your grandma's Chromebook. You know what I'm saying? This is a workstation. This is meant to do the job. It's got a very robust CPU GPU combination. So, you know, just have to keep that in mind. Okay. And again, you're paying a premium for it. But again, like I said, companies will not blink at the price tag. Believe me, I know. Okay. So we'll get this result in a little bit here, as you can see what's going on. Again, with Geekbench 6.01 or 6.1.0 or 6.1, I should say, much more stable than the original Geekbench 6 that we were running earlier. So pretty good in that regard. Okay. So far, my observations are the build quality is fantastic. The looks are fantastic. The screen is absolutely gorgeous. Thin bezels here. You can see the bezels here. Again, it is a glossy. I do have a lot of lights, so just keep that in mind. But the thin bezels. Now, they do have a little bit of a thicker bezel than you'd say on an XPS 15 or the consumer version because they do have a full HD IR webcam. So a little bit of bigger, a little bit more space is needed for that. So that is certainly understandable. Looks beautiful. And you can see back here, it's got almost like a darker gray than the XPS. But again, we're comparing a professional grade versus consumer. So just keep that in mind. That is the Dell logo there. Pretty nice. And I like the fact that this screen there's not too much screen wobble. That's been pretty good as well. But this is absolutely gorgeous so far. So liking what I'm seeing so far. Now, there are two grills here. I believe they're speaker grills. And these should have pretty good sound. I believe this has quad speakers. We'll double check that. I believe we saw it in the specs. But we'll test it out as well today. Okay. And I also am very, very anxious to see how the RAID 0 storage here will perform as far as speed, because I'm expecting big things out of that. If it's any indication of past RAID 0s that I've seen, then you can definitely expect some blazingly fast performance when reads and writes. Okay, we're almost there. Let's get over to this. This is a lot of fun, folks. I really enjoy doing this. I love doing live unboxings. To me, it's one of the it's one of the more fun things for me to do. It's a lot of work, prep work, a lot of pre-production work, but I love doing it. I thank for all those who watch it live, those who watch the replay, and we get a lot of replays. So even if it's not the right time zone to catch me live, you're going to see the result in the replay. We got a really nice result here as we have 14,507 on the multi-core. And again, we haven't updated anything yet. So that's a very impressive score. 2768. That is the single core score. So very nice. That's my initial run, but I'll do many more runs on that. Let's take a screenshot. Okay. Now let's, while we have this here, the OpenCL test, let's test the RTX 5000 Ada graphics, okay? Let's see how this Lovelace GPU performs. So this should hopefully give us. Now, I'm going to show you a graphic in a moment. Let's get this score first. But I'm going to show you a graphic where I think if you want to equate this to what a consumer level would be, I would say it's a 4070 Ti maybe, from what I understand. Again, it's very different how they approach things because of the precise nature and the quality of the render, say in a video, or the quality of the render in a 3D graphic, or whatever it is, any kind of engineering. That is very important, more so than speed. So just keep that in mind. You're not looking to play AAA titles on this, although you can. You're looking to get it right, and that's very important. I want to make that distinction. The people say, well, why would I spend $6,000 when I can go get something half the price in a consumer laptop? So, yeah. And this is very impressive. Yeah, this is so far very impressive. All right, 164, 515. Okay, that's good. So far, not disappointing. I want to see that RAID 0. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's go to the downloads, and then I'll show you that graphic. But let me just load this in first, and then we'll get this set up. We'll look at that graphic in a moment. So this is going to be ready to go. So let's say yes. And okay, so what we have is 1 terabyte SSD here, right? So let me just see here. So there are 2 drives here. There's one with a 30 gigabyte. This is the main drive with 1 terabyte. So let me hit that. Now, I'm going to bring up something here. Let me bring up the specs here, but let's move over here. So for those interested, this is a little graphic that I sourced from NVIDIA. And where you can see the ADA, and I can let it play a little bit here. Let's see here. Here, this is it. Okay, so this is the ADA 5000. This is the graphics card that we have here. And you could pause this if you want and then watch it later. But I want to move over to the next graphic because you might be wondering, well, what is the equivalent of a consumer one, right? The relative performance is really what we want to know. And here you see the RTX 5000 mobile ADA would be about, I guess, an RTX 4070 Ti, 93% compared to this. And then if it's a AMD Radeon, you're looking at the RX 7900 XT, somewhere in that range, right? So this will give you a little bit of an idea of what we call relative performance. And the source of this, by the way, is Tech Power Up. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that. You can pause this or you can go back. You can look at it later. But I just wanted to give you that kind of information. And check this readout. Holy smokes, 12,830. Wow. This thing is fantastic. We're going to give a round of applause here. Let's turn it up. I'm clapping. I get excited about this stuff. I must be a real geek, right? For me to get excited. Wow. Nearly 13,000. Let's be honest. And the 12,830. That is pretty phenomenal. And the whole idea of the RAID 0 is to get you the most amount of speed possible. Oh man, this and that comes into play when you're rendering videos, when you're doing the professional kind of work that this is geared towards. Then yes, you're going to want to see that. Raphael, it goes without saying, these are excellent speeds. These are excellent speeds. This is exciting. I do a couple a week as far as these unboxing Sportimus. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you turn the notification bell. Follow me on the social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Threads now. So I'll put that in later when we're all done. All right. So yeah, because you can't rely on the notification system in YouTube. These are some very good reads and writes. 78, 79. Write will be less than the reads, but very, very impressive. Nearly 8,000 so far. Wow. Yeah, these speeds are blazing. Very, very nice. So far, it doesn't look like there's any crapware. Okay. So right now I'm using the 160, you can see it here, it's plugged in, the 165 watt USB Type-C adapter. This is absolutely gorgeous, folks. These are the 2 speaker grills here. This material, it's like a rubberized, grippy material. Feels fantastic. Feels fantastic. All right. So right now we're doing the Cinebench, the Crystal Disk Mark test to test this RAID 0. Will I be comparing all pro-level laptops you review, like the Precision, ZBook, ZenBook Pro, maybe the NVIDIA Studio laptop lineup? Yeah, I've got all that stuff lined up. Now, the ZBook I did so far is the ZBook, the 14-inch, right? The the G10 or whatever it was, or the G9, G10. I think it was G10. I don't know. Whatever I just did. Yes, I do the professional grade laptops. Not too many laptop reviewers actually tackle those. I do. So yes, stay tuned. There will be more. SHXP. Okay, this is exciting. I'm excited. This is great. All right, we're gonna run the Cinebench R23. We're gonna do a modified 5-minute test once this is finished rendering, or once this test is done, I should say. We'll get an idea, and then we'll take a look at the camera. But I want to also test the thermals as well. So far, staying very cool so far. I'm just testing it right now. It's staying pretty cool underneath here. The power adapter, which you see here, is not getting, it's a little warm, but nothing hot or anything like that. But we really haven't pushed it yet, right? We haven't pushed it to the limit yet. This is collecting a little bit of fingerprints, which I was expecting. But again, this feel to it is very nice. I got to say, whatever material they're using here, very, very good. All right, let's take a screenshot. We have our result here. Okay, very good. Good job with that RAID 0. So far, good Geekbench 6 result in both single multi-core. Good result when you're talking about the speeds of the RAID 0. All right, let me go to my downloads here. Let me go to the Cinebench R23. Let me extract that. We're going to do a modified, like I said, modified 5-minute test. Just want to get this, an idea of what we can expect. Are the fans noticeable? So far, we're going to do a measurement now. We'll take a thermal imaging, some video of the thermal imaging on this with my FLIR camera here. And we'll take some decibel meter. We'll take some measurements of the sound levels of the fan noise. So far, not too bad, but again, we haven't really pushed it yet. So we're going to definitely push it. And one of the things I'm going to do in the full review is I'm going to do some more complicated DaVinci Resolve rendering projects that I'm going to compare to say something like what I have here, which is the Mac Studio, right? With the M1 Max. I want to see what the Mac side of it versus this. I have a feeling this is going to be much more powerful. And again, we'll have to see the results and the numbers. All right, let's load in the Cinebench right here. And actually, I'm live streaming. I have that Mac. I'm live streaming from it right now. Okay, so we accepted the software license. Let's go to the advanced benchmark here. And let's go to the preferences. And let's make a 5-minute modified test, custom test. Okay, we'll do the full one in the upcoming review. Okay, oops, let me stop that. Hold on. I forgot to put it to 5 minutes. Here we go, custom 5 minutes. Now we can start it. Okay, so let me take a drink. Actually, I was going to bring liquor, but I wanted to make sure that I was sober for this because I wanted to make sure I'm actually seeing the numbers I'm seeing because so far they are really impressive. Does this machine have CAM memory? That's been a big question. I wouldn't be surprised if it got offered with CAM memory at some point. I don't think it is right now. I think they wanted to test the waters with the 7670 that we looked at last year. And I think they're going to expand that out from what I understand. But again, I have nothing concrete. That was sort of the first step of what we will see, probably a future adoption industry-wide. I really am a big believer in that CAM memory. And if you can ask me what CAM stands for, I think it's Compression Access Memory Module. I think that's what it is, or compressed memory. I don't know, something like that. But it is pretty cutting edge when it comes to the memory technology. Okay, so this is ripping right through it. Again, we're doing a modified 5-minute test. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out the camera here. I want to do the thermal imaging. The fans are going. We'll do some testing of the noise level of the fans, the decibel meter. Let me turn that on. Okay, so I've been using the Pixel Fold. Loving it, okay? Loving this, okay? So far, better than I expected. I love the front display on this. And I'm going to use this with this. This is my FLIR camera. This is going to take measurements of the thermals on this. And it's opening the program right now. Okay, so we're going to get some measurements here. Let me put it here. Okay. About 48, 49, where this vent is, that's where the heat is dissipating. about 40 degrees Celsius here around this area. So not bad at all. Very good so far. Okay, let's do the underside. Wow, it's doing a really good job dissipating the heat here. Now I hear the fans going full blast. I could feel it blowing the air here. Maybe over here 40 degrees. That is really cool. Wow. They did a good job here. Now, let's take a measurement of the fan noise. Let me get that set up. So pretty impressive so far. Okay, let's see what we get here. I hear the fans going. Okay, about 52 decibels, I should say, not degrees, 52 decibels. You know what? Yes, it is noticeable, but considering what it's doing under the hood as far as the GPU, the CPU, that is not bad. And I can tell you right now, it's going full blast. It is actually barely warm. They're doing a fantastic job dissipating this heat in here. And this is a little warm. The power adapter is not even hot. That is pretty interesting. They've done a really good job here so far. And we have our result here. Okay, 16,482. Very, very good. Hold on, let me take a screenshot of that. Wow. Okay, let's do the single core while we're here. 5 minute, it won't take that long. And then we'll take a look at the camera. We'll see how that full HD IR camera will look like. And again, I'll give you examples in the upcoming review. Yeah, it's like the XPS 16, right? You almost stole my title from the upcoming review. This is the XPS 16 on steroids, my friends. All right, looks like a great phone. Yeah, this is a pretty nice phone. I got to tell you, it's pretty nice. I'm very happy with this Pixel phone. And by the way, this is a gift from Team Pixel, for those wondering. Gift from Google, I have to do. That is a disclaimer. But I get to keep it. That is good. And I will be doing a full review on my mobile channel. I know I haven't been posting that much. I did a replay of my unboxing that I did. I just uploaded it at my on my mobile channel. Check it out. Link will be in the description below as far as going over to that channel. But very good. And what has really impressed me are these cameras on the back here. I met up with some friends this weekend, old high school friend and her husband, and we went out and we took some photos at the Wynn here in Las Vegas, the resort and casino. And actually, the color science on this has been fantastic. I think Google did a fantastic job once again. Again, it's not perfect. There are things that I'm going to talk about. The best part of this, I think, is the fact that you have such a usable front display. Of course, you're going to go here, and let me close that. Of course, you're going to go here and you're going to get that crease in the middle, of course, but that's with most folds. But this has been pretty nice. I got to tell you, been very, very impressed. We'll talk more about it. I don't want to make this the Google Fold or the Pixel Fold, I should say, video here or unboxing, but we already did that. We're concentrating on this, but I just wanted to point that out. I've been very impressed with it so far. So thank you, Team Pixel, for sending that over. Now, back to this. This is working, and I don't feel the power adapter getting hot. The underside is barely warm, folks. It's dissipating through here. It's got some venting on the bottom. They've done a good job here. I got to say, dissipating that heat. Pretty good. Very nice. All right, so let's go here. As we have 60 of you watching now. And thank you, Raphael. He put a link to the mobile channel in the chat, so I do appreciate that. Yeah, the crease doesn't bother me, right? It doesn't bother me either. I just wanted to point that it is noticeable. But when you're using it, after a while, you don't even notice it, to be honest. It's like the Fold 4, where at first you saw it and then you use it more and more, the Z Fold 4. Again, didn't bother me after a while. Same as Sportimus. Okay. So yeah, William, I checked here. The adapter, not hot at all. A little warm, not hot. Not hot at all. So that's an indicator that the power, if the PC is drawing a lot of power. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's drawing that much power. I think it's doing a good job dissipating the heat as well, because the underside on here is not hot at all. That is surprising, because normally when we're running an R23, Cinebench R23 benchmark here, you would feel it heat up. But of course, I'm going to really push it for the full review. We're going to really put this to the limit. I have some planned heavy editing, video editing on this that I'm going to try, professional level editing. And I want to see if this can handle it, because if it can, then maybe this can become my future editing machine for video. You know, you never know. Again, I'm been moving slowly more and more to DaVinci Resolve, doing color grading on DaVinci Resolve, doing some very complex 4K video editing. This should be able to handle it very well, considering the CPU and GPU that this has. So hopefully we'll get that very soon for you in that review. And this should be done. Let's see, we're already less than a minute more away. We should be done with this in a couple of minutes, all told. Yeah, the laptop looks clean. There's no question about it. Kadoku really does look clean. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is beautiful. You can see it here. Get a good angle over here. I really like the coloring. I like it's an understated look, but sleek looking at the same time. I think you walk into a meeting with this is impressive, right? This is impressive. And this keyboard, everything is looking really good on this. I am very, very impressed with this. So far, I haven't found a real negative. The fan noise isn't even that bad. It stays very cool, even under load so far. Very impressive. It's going to finish this run over here, and then we'll get the run. Is this just an XPS chassis? It's an XPS chassis plus, is what I would say. It looks very similar to the XPS 15, I guess, or the 17, but it's a little thicker, I would imagine, but it has much better cooling on this so far. I've been noticing. Oh, there's also a smart card reader on this side. I think I failed to mention that earlier. There's a smart card. I think there's a smart card reader right here. There's the SD card right there, full size. Oh, there's no question. This is a powerhouse for getting work done, especially professional level graphics, stuff like that. Again, there's a difference between the ADA graphics and, say, something like a consumer graphics, like a 4070, 4080. There's a difference, and it has to do with the way it approaches things. It's a little complicated. I don't want to oversimplify it, but basically you're looking at quality over speed, right? So that would be there. Negative is not, Joe Biatch, which I love your name. The negative, okay, it just depends how you're approaching this. If you're a Fortune 500 company, if you're a media, if you're a media company, you're not going to blink at that price tag. There are Macs out there. What is that new Mac Pro fully loaded? What is that, close to $20,000 all said and done with every fully maxed out? Yeah, it is for what you're doing. This is actually competitive for the field that it's competing in. So just keep that in mind. All right. But yeah, I mean, look, for the average person, the average Joe, yeah, it is very expensive. This is the price of a car for a lot of people. But I think you have to just understand who this is geared towards, who the audience is this is made for. And if you go with that mindset, with that perspective, I think you'll understand the pricing. And again, when you compare it to, say, like Apple, and I'll bring Apple because they're doing video work and stuff in their high-end professional line, the Mac Pro or say the Mac Studio and stuff like that. Yeah, you're going to pay a premium when it's fully spec'd out. This starts at what, about $2,500, which is nothing to sneeze at, but it's certainly not that much. I mean, compared to other laptops, it gets expensive when you start adding components, you start speccing it out, it becomes much more expensive. But again, it's all relative, right? What you might consider expensive as a consumer, a company, a media company, a production company that needs this kind of horsepower, they're not going to blink at it because they're going to make this back 10 times within a month if they get the right jobs. And so just keep that in mind. The reality, according to William, is when you look at it, the XPS line is a stripped down version of the Precision line. So I don't look at it. I think people try to like equate the consumer line with the professional line, with the business line. I think there's a dichotomy there that we need to understand. And I think it comes down to, like I said, who the audience is. The XPS 15 is very capable graphically, of course. We showed that in the numbers in my review. I think when it comes down to is what are the drivers are optimized for, what are they geared towards, and then you'll get your answer. Again, it all depends on what companies need. This, you can make the argument, this is the XPS 16 on steroids, but that's a consumer moniker. This is the Precision line. This is what it's geared towards professionals. Okay, we have our result here, and 1956. These are very, very impressive numbers here. And again, when I showed you that chart earlier from Tech Powered Up, I believe, yeah, they if you want to look at relative performance, I would say this is equivalent of a 4070 Ti, maybe somewhere in that range. So just to give you an idea, again, I don't like to compare apples to oranges, but that is a pretty nice number here. We've got a good single core, 1956, good multi-core. And again, this is this is a custom 5-minute test. I'll run the full test, the test throttling and all that stuff if it is even there, and we'll get you those numbers. Okay, so that's done. Let me close that. Now we're going to take a look at the camera on this. Okay. So it looks like they have the effects here. That's good to see, the studio effects. Okay, let me bring this out here. All right. So there we go. Very, very good. Let me go to the settings here. Video settings. It's on 1080p. So this is a 1080p camera. And I got to tell you, looks good. Natural colors. Doesn't look too warm. Doesn't look too cold. I think the color science, they did a good job with it. Very, very good. Now, you can see here, these are your studio effects, right? So what do they have? Auto framing. That always keeps you in frame. We've seen that before. We have the eye contact. This will make sure you're always looking at your subject. And of course, it's what I call the creepy mode. Again, there it is. I'm going to turn it off. And then you have the background blur. And this is going to be great if you have a messy background. Simple as that. And does a relatively good job. Pretty interesting. And you could turn it off. You don't need it. But those are all there. So all the modern features are there. I think they did a good job. I agree, Raphael. I think the webcam is looking pretty good. It's an IR webcam. What does that mean? Well, you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. Camera looks good according to William. We got the William Cohen seal of approval. And that's all I need. That's all I need. Okay. So good job, Dell, on your camera. I think it looks really good. And by the way, they did a fantastic job on the Latitude 7440 that I'm going to show you tomorrow. I'm going to drop that video. Should be scheduled for the morning. I have one little more thing to do on it, but that's going to be done after this. I will set it for 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So Pacific time, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That is a really great camera on it as well. And also has a lot of portability on that one. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed. But really good job here. All right. Now that we've done that, let's see where we are. We are now 57 minutes into the live stream. I don't know how much longer we're going to go. We'll keep going a little bit. But so far, the takeaway is this has been really good. Now, we've saw good multi-core. We saw good single-core performance. Let's see how the sound is on this, okay? So let me load in Epidemic Sound. And let's get an idea of what we can expect sound-wise. Because again, if you're a professional video editor, you want to make sure this has good sound as well. Although you may use a pair of monitors or good pair of professional headphones, but you want to have some good sound on the unit itself. This, I believe, has quad speakers on it. Okay, let me log into the account here. So let me get to that. And let me go to login. Okay, logging in. And okay, that's fine. Let me go to my save. All right, so what I'm going to do, let me put it over here. Let me unplug this. Let's get the sound going. This is plugged in. We'll keep it plugged in. Let me get this microphone ready. This is my special microphone that is going to be a little bit better to gauge the sound on this. And let me pick the like sound here. All right, we'll start with one we always done, Never Meant to Be by Gloria Tells. We're going to do that, and then we'll maybe do a couple others. But let's get an idea of what this sounds like. Now, I don't know if there's Dolby Atmos. I don't know if they use Dolby Atmos. I don't think they do. No, I don't think so. I don't see the app in there. But before I do this, let's go to the Optimizer app, the Dell Optimizer. And let me see if there's a setting, and I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but let me see if there's a setting for the audio. I know the microphone, and I think there's a 3D a 3D audio, but I think that's if you're going to do. I can send to that. Okay, I think that's if you're going to use headphones. Okay, so let's go to the audio tab here. Let's see. You can see what. Oh, I'm not connected. Never mind. It'll have to take me for the word here. You can see it actually here. So 3D audio is off, but I think 3D audio has to do with your headphones and internal speaker. Okay, so let's put on the 3D audio. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit better. And then here's the other thing you could do. You can remove background noise and stuff like that. Okay, so let's minimize that. Let's bring this back up, and let's get an idea of the sound. Let's get a first run at it. Okay, let me turn it on.
But never mind what's new.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Let me know what you think. I think it sounds really good. I think maybe a little bit more volume, although I did it sounded pretty good on that song "Firepower" by Starlight, which is a pretty robust song. So pretty good overall. I think the sound is very good. Now, what I'm really loving is this touchpad. Wow, is this thing? Yeah, it doesn't look like it's moving, but is it? Maybe it is. I don't know if this is, does it say haptic? It feels like it's haptic, but maybe it's not. Let me see here. Very, very good. According to Williams, sound seems okay, but not that great. A little teeny. I realize not having the actual unit in front of me does not do it justice. I think I have heard better. No, it's very good. I can tell you it's very good. This touchpad is very good, but I'm trying to figure out, is there any moving parts here? Let me see here. It feels haptic to me. I'll have to double check that. Either way, they did a fantastic job here. The build quality on this is fantastic. So I want to show you this. Okay, so over here, you got your power. I forgot to mention earlier, like I said, this is the smart card reader. And again, companies will maybe require that. You get the 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, HDMI, headphone jack, and then on this side you have the SD card reader, one of the other Thunderbolt 4 ports, and then you have a Kensington lock. No USB-A on this, so no gigabit Ethernet, stuff like that. At least you'll use it with an adapter, then you'll get it. Resembles the XPS. So basically, Dylan, this is the XPS on steroids in a sense. This would be the XPS 16 on steroids. Remember the 5470 last year was the XPS 14 on steroids? This would be the XPS 16 on steroids, but I think it's its own thing. I don't think we can even compare it to the XPS. I think this is something unique in itself. So pretty nice. And you can see very little, if any, screen wobble. And here you can get a good look at the keyboard and stuff. This thing is really, really nice. I'm really loving it so far. And again, I'll have to use it for the next week or so and then bring you the review. But so far, showing minimal amount of fingerprints over here. That's good. Now, I noticed on the keyboard deck here, it does collect a little bit of fingerprints, but nothing near the deck on the XPS. A little bit different material used here. I kind of like this. This is really good. I love the XPS, don't get me wrong, but this is good so far. But again, you're comparing consumer versus professional grade here. So now, there is a little light on the power button. I think you can sort of see it there. That lets you know that you're powered on. Now, let's take a look. Let's see if you can actually see the backlight on. It's hard with all my studio lights, everything going. Let me see here. This would be it, right? Yeah, you can see it here. So very good as far as the light. Pretty nice. Lights up pretty well. So you could probably work on a plane in a dark room, dimly lit environment. I think it works very good. So Raviel thought it sounded a little weak. I don't know. I thought it sounded good. This is one of the things you're going to have to be in the same room with, like William said. And it is subjective. What you might think sounds great, another person may think it's But I think it was good. No, I think the MacBook, to be honest, is the best still. But I've heard some really good ones. In fact, when we saw that dual screen, what was that crazy dual screen that I have here that I'm absolutely loving, the Yoga Book 9i. Has some really good sound on that, by the way. And so does its the Yoga 9i that we looked at with that sound bar and all that. So pretty good. So that is the Dell Precision 80, what is it? The Dell Precision, I'm losing my mind here. The Dell Precision 5680, the XPS 16 on steroids, basically. But really good so far. All kidding aside, very, very good. Thermals look good so far. The display is absolutely gorgeous. I can show you some video on it here, but I don't want to get all into the YouTube stuff here. Well, I'll get you really good measurements, of course, on the upcoming review. But so far, this is looking pretty good. And again, I have to lower the brightness. It's so bright, I don't want to blow out the camera. But pretty nice, I can tell you that right off the bat. And again, I'm not logged into my account here. But let's see. Let's say Dell Latitude. What did I do? The 9440 already. So let's take a look at that. And again, I'm not like, oh, look at that. There's my video. And there's Dell with their video. And there's me. So of course I'll choose my video. No.
Updated Google Home app makes smart home monitoring easier and more.
Actually, the sound is pretty good with this advertisement.
Quickly find your most used devices, view multiple Nest camera feeds together, and create helpful automated routines. Check it out.
Hey everybody, it's Andrew back again with another video, and today I have my review of the Dell Latitude 9440 2-in-1. It's got to be one of the best 2-in-1 convertibles I've used here in 2023, especially for a business-focused laptop. This certainly has exceeded any expectations going into this. Love the Zero Lattice keyboard. Love the collaboration haptic touchpad that you see here. Love having that, especially when you're in a hybrid work environment, working from home, and you need to be able to mute your microphone, be able to turn off the camera. It allows you to share your screen. Everything you'd want in collaboration format is here. We'll get into it in this review. It's got a 13th Gen U series processor with V Pro. I think it does pretty well with the voices, talking head videos. So far, speakers sound pretty good. All right, we don't have to watch that. You can go check that out. It's over at my channel, but really, really nice looking display. Again, 3840 by 2400. We're talking about UHD plus resolution, 60 hertz, not 120 hertz, nothing above that. Again, I'm not too worried about that. I would actually want better battery life, but again, I'm not sure what to expect from battery life until I do my battery testing. Again, I know this is a powerful CPU GPU combination. I understand the power that it generates, the thermals that it creates, that they would have to go with the thermal. And then, of course, the display, which is a high-res display, good coverage of the color gamut we're expecting, good color accuracy. Now, let me just take a look at the underside here. I don't think I'm going to open it up right now. I'm going to wait for the video because I want to, because I have other stuff I have to do, but this is the underside. So it looks like it's using Torx screws here. So this should be easy to access. And I would imagine it's probably very similar to the XPS line as well. It's all metal grill here. So pretty good so far. Okay, so precision 5680. So looking pretty good. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 T5 Torx screws. I'm not going to open it up now. I'll save that for the video. I have to leave something. I think I do too much in these reviews, in these unboxings. So something to keep in mind. Something to look forward to, right? All right, so pretty good so far. And let me know what you think, people. And again, let's see if we can open this with one finger. We can. This is gorgeous. I'm loving this thing. This is freaking gorgeous. All right, I think we're going to call it a live stream. No, we didn't destroy anything. We didn't short circuit anything. Anytime that is the case, it's a success. So let's hit the music. Let's not push our luck. So far, so good, ladies and gentlemen. The Dell Precision 5680 looks like a winner so far. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, it's geared towards professionals, but it just might be one of the best laptops we've used so far here in 2023. But of course, the proof is always in the numbers. As they say, it's proof is in the pudding. We'll get you the full review. That's coming very soon. I want to thank the moderators for doing such a great job. Once again, everybody who contributed via Super Chat today, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who commented in the chat. And of course, if you want to see the replay, I'll leave this up. And of course, always make comment. Let me know how I'm doing. So until next time, people, I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Stay cool and have a great rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, or wherever the hell you are. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.